we?
I think we do have a quorum from the applicant team. Do we have everybody who is joining us?
Hello, this is Dave Feist with CMG. I know Steve Salveggio, the owner, is here, and Ashley Cote with Millennium Design is here as well.
Okay, if we have everybody, why don't we get started? We have a quorum, so that takes care of that. We don't have any alternates, so let me take that off the list. I see item 2 is election of officers. Yeah. I know who I'm not electing. What exactly are we electing here? You want to move this to the end and do it?
Special meeting?
Yeah, I would say we move it.
It's a special meeting, folks, so we can't actually change any order or content of the agenda since we're meeting at a time that's outside of the regular meeting. But we're doing chair and vice.
And vice or secretary.
Okay.
Do we have any volunteers for chair, vice chair, and secretary?
You need 2 folks.
Let's go backwards. Do we have anybody who doesn't want to be any of those? That's me.
All right, Bill. I'll take chair if you've done it a while.
Okay. If you need a vice chair, I'll help you because Joy, what do you think?
I second John.
Oh, there's Ed. Now Ed chimes in.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even realize Ed was here. Hello, Ed.
Hey.
Okay. Do we need to vote on more, or is chair all we need to do?
No, it's chair and the vice secretary is sort of the same position. So.
Okay. Now, was Rob vice chair or secretary before?
Rob was vice chair.
Okay. And he's willing to continue to do that? Or do we just vote him in because he's not here?
No, that I do not know.
Okay. We could get him in the same way you got me in last time. It's just vote me in because I wasn't there.
Show up, right?
I nominate Bob Nye, right?
Okay,
Right.
so do we have a nomination for chair?
John.
John.
Do we have a second?
Ed,
I seconded it.
Thank you.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No opposed. Okay.
Did I hear everybody that was on? Okay, whoever's taking the ballot, I presume we got everybody on that vote?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, John, Bill, Ed, and Joy were all in favor.
Okay, I didn't hear Joy. That's why I asked that question. Okay. All right, now that that's done, why don't we move on to the fun part, the plan review?
Do we have vice?
So had we settled on a vice chair, or?
We haven't. I don't know that we want to do it without Bob being here. We don't know whether he wants to do it anymore or not.
Okay, so defer that to the next meeting.
I would.
Okay.
I mean, if he wants it, I think it's a moot point. But if he doesn't, then it's another story.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if we move on to plan reviews, I'm hoping we have a little more detail from the presenters, only because the rest of the stuff is kind of small to get through in detail. But with that intro, I'd appreciate if we can go through what we have and what we're doing and look at all the pictures.
Oh, hello, this is Dave Feist. I guess I'll start as a project civil engineer. I'm still new to the whole Zoom process, so you'll have to bear with us. I believe as far as design review goes, what's the primary thing, I guess, that you're interested in? I know the Henny Penny existing gas station, they're proposing to demolish the entire site, rebuild it with a brand new gas station canopy. So would you rather start with the architectural portion or the site plan part?
I would like to start with the architectural portion.
Okay, and I guess I'll introduce Ashley Cote with Millennium Design, can present that part of the project.
Hello, Ashley.
Yeah.
I think you're muted, Ashley.
Just try to unmute you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. I'm also new to these Zoom meetings, so we'll get by, I guess. So, I mean, the building is pretty straightforward. It's 2,948 square foot, single story building, wood framed. Finishes are durable, hardy siding, cementitious, so they'll last for a while. We got stone veneer base, architectural shingles, storefront, you know, it's just a pretty basic building. The colors are, looks like a beige color here. I think in some locations we've just done like a white, but just a stone, gray, beige mix. I mean, it's a convenience store, has a small QSR that would have some coffee program, a typical convenience store that you have with a gas station. Men's room, women's room. Yeah, I don't know what else is important to know, if you have any questions about it.
So the clapboards will be beige. The drawings up above indicate they'll be white.
Yes, so I believe the last town that we had presented to wanted the building white. Is that correct, Steve? I think that we usually go with an off-white sort of color. This
Yeah,
rendering, the shadows is a little off-putting. I think it would be brighter than that.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Kind of, if you're familiar with our Henny Penny site on Hartford Turnpike on Route 85, it'd be similar to that same color.
Okay, yeah, white I was gonna argue against, but if it's an off-white or otherwise, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
And I know that there was a request for some physical samples to be sent in. With this whole outbreak, it's been a little difficult getting things, but we do have some things on hand. So if you had the want to see some finishes, I could gather some up and send it over so we can confirm the color.
You don't have them available at the moment?
Not at my desk. I could go and try to grab something out of the library, but we do have some finished samples.
Heating and cooling units inside the structure itself?
I'm sorry, what was that?
The heating and cooling units, are they inside the structure?
I believe that the mechanical equipment will be on a slab out in the rear of the building,
Yeah,
or
normally.
off to the side. There will be a slab for that equipment, which would be obviously concealed with a fence system, so it's not visible.
Can you go, the architecturals on the right, it said there's some trees you're gonna try and save. What happens if you can't save the trees?
I believe that would be the site planners. I'm not sure about the trees.
Yeah, I can take that question. This is David Feist. Yeah, I guess right now, if the trees can't, all attempts will be made to save the trees, but if not, there is a planting plan that was provided. Again, they can be replaced if necessary. But at this point, I know some of them, until they actually do the retaining wall construction, we won't be sure which ones will be able to survive.
Also, I didn't see any lights in the architecturals, but they show on the plan. What kind of lighting is it gonna be?
There is a lighting plan that was provided. It'll all be dark sky compliant. And we did submit a photometrics plan that shows that the foot candles at the property boundaries will be 0 foot candles.
Before you get started, can I ask a simple question? What changed on the footprint from the previous plan?
Yeah, that's what I would like to see, is the whole new plan, but with the old building and structures on it.
Well, mine was a little different. Mine was just what's the difference between the plan, but that's a good point too. In other words, is the building smaller, bigger, laid out different? Are the islands in the same spot, or what's different?
Yeah, it's completely different. Basically, the existing building is around 1,862 square feet. The proposed building is going to be larger.
100.
It'll be just about 2,950 plus or minus square feet, and be pushed back on the site a little bit further. Existing, there's 2 pump islands. The proposed project will actually provide 4 pump islands, except spaced out along the length of the frontage of the site. So I don't know, Ashley, if you can scroll forward to the sheet C1 or next one, sheet C2.
It's a little slow to load.
Yep, so this, you can see the plan in front of you, that's the proposed. So you can see the building pushed back a little further, along with the expanded parking, as well as the different pump island configuration.
What's the space between, the plans are hard to read. What's the space between the building and where the pumps start, or the backside of the pumps?
It's basically about, there's an 18-foot, there's a 7-foot concrete walk, an 18-foot space, and then there's 28 feet between the parking space and the pump island.
All right, thank you.
So it's about 53 feet between the face of the building and the pump island.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Lori, did that answer your question also?
That wasn't my question. My question was, I went there and I looked at it, and there's a lot of tree behind the existing building, but I couldn't see how far that goes into the wetlands. And it does provide a nice backdrop. From the planting plan that we were showed, it seems very minimal, and I just can't, I can't really understand the proximity of what we're looking at here.
Let's see, so if you can see on the plan, there's a dark dashed line along the back that shows that's sort of the limit of clearing for the project,
Okay.
for the area needed for grading. So pretty much because of the slope in the back and the location of the new building, most of the trees and vegetation will be removed within the limit of that dark dashed line. The wetlands itself, we're not proposing to disturb that at all. We will have to construct, do some regrading right up to that. And then that area is shown, we have some proposed plantings that are shown on the planting plan in that area. So the trees in that area most likely will be mostly removed.
I think it's C5 is the planting plan.
Yep.
Yeah.
And again, if there's any recommendations, these are the recommended plantings from our landscape architect, designer, Terry Hahn had proposed these. Again, there's the wetlands itself, part of it, there's a lot of debris and other stuff from some of the neighbors that's been there over the years. One of the things I know for the project, some of that area will be cleaned up. And again, I know the Wetlands Commission has issued a permit, with that being one of the conditions is to restore part of that area in addition to the, the plantings we're proposing.
This is Mark Retevius, a planner. Certainly when this gets in front of the Planning and Zoning Commission, Troy, if the Design Review Board so desires, they can make it a condition that we take a look at the planting plan and perhaps beef up what they're proposing to do some screening or what have you in the back.
Yeah, it's not even screening. It's just that right now it's quite a lush backdrop. And because there's very little planting, there's like one thing up on the, if you're coming in from the west, there's one little maple there. And then the rest of the grassy area doesn't really have too much. And this plan has very limited over on the right side as you enter. So I just thought that it would enhance it if there was more greenery.
Yeah, and I don't want to speak for Steve, but I believe, Steve, some additional planting up on the front, like where we're showing his proposed lawn. Is that something we could add some additional?
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that it wasn't on the plan, I guess is my question. If if that was something you were entertaining.
It's definitely something we're open to providing. I think part of the focus was to provide the plantings along the wetlands, because I know that was the first commission we went to. But so definitely, we would definitely be up to considering that as a condition of approval.
We keep talking front and back. In the front, you got to be careful of sight lines on that highway.
Correct.
And the sides probably need it more than either one of those two.
The sides really, you can't put too much in there. That's why I was suggesting that to really beef up what's behind would give you the illusion.
Hey, I got flowers growing through my driveway this year, so I don't need much.
Joy, you good with that up to this point?
Yeah.
Anyone else? John?
Do we lose him?
We might have, or his audio's off. I don't know. I guess I'll assume we haven't heard from him. I don't have a screen, so I can't see who's on at the moment. I think because Abby.
I was stuck on mute there. Couldn't
Okay.
get off.
Any questions or points you want to raise?
No, I was also concerned with, the existing site is a very shady, little nook-like location. I can see where, in order to be able to push this back, everything behind it is going to have to go to accommodate the retaining. There really isn't much room to do anything on the front of the sides. So it is what it is.
I guess my view in looking at the stuff, I think the front is aesthetically pleasing, especially compared to what's there now. I mean, what's there now is
I agree.
old. So, and the building looks nice. I mean, you've got the fascia, you've got a dormer, you got it's a nice looking building. I think it's an improvement there. We do what we can do.
Yeah.
I mean, we can approve to go to the planning and zoning board with a recommendation to review the planning plan if we want, but which is fine. I have no problem with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have no problem with that either. I mean, there's a decent track record with the other two locations in town, so sure.
I'm fine.
And I think the sight lines to Route 1 there are important because it's kind of tough getting in and out of there as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we ready to get a motion to approve with commentary on the plantings to go positive review to the planning and zoning with maybe some improvements to plantings?
So moved.
Second.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, everyone.
All right,
Thank you.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, item 4, approval of minutes from May 11th.
Proposal.
I read them. I don't see anything, but I wasn't there. We get a motion to approve or comments?
I'd like the motion to approve.
I'll
Second.
second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so moved. And what, I don't know if I can do this yet. I will. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Yes. Motion to adjourn.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, everybody.
Hey, great,
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'll see you next time.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, bye.